I just watched the best vampire movie I've seen in a very long time, and the best vampire movie that you've never seen. Probably. This is a movie that nobody talks about, and I don't understand why, so I think it's about damn time we do. And that movie is Blood Red Sky. This was a 2021 Netflix original, and it takes the vampire genre and takes it down a whole new path. And that's probably what I like the most about it, is its originality. It takes some pieces from other movies and it kind of plops it all into one mixed bag and makes it into something kind of special. This movie is got everything in it. You get blood, gore, violence, tons of action in this movie. There's character development, charisma from characters, good acting in the movie, great special effects. And there is always that one thing that most movies are missing, and that is heart. This movie really takes a toll on your emotions if you're a parent, and it makes you actually feel something, and you kind of know exactly what the main character of this movie is going through if you were put in the same shoes. This one takes place on a plane. We have Nadia, who is going to New York because she has a rare blood disease and she needs to have a transfusion done to get the good blood in and get the bad blood out of there. We don't know exactly what it is that she has, but she takes some medicine that really seems to put her into a lot of pain when she takes it. So she gets on this plane with her son and heads to New York, and in the meantime, there's some hijackers who take over the plane. It kind of reminds me of From Dusk Till Dawn when they rob and then you see them go to the strip club and all hell breaks loose. But in this one, the hijackers are taking over the plane and they're going to go land it in London. They've called in some nice special favors. And they're going to get some people on the plane in trouble as if they are terrorists based on their looks, because these are just some clean white men from Europe. It's the best way I could put it. It kind of reminds me of trying to show a little racial stuff in there, but it doesn't hit you over the head with anything like that. It's not bad at all. And these guys take over this plane, and what they expect is that every single person who is on this plane to follow their rules. Well, one of them's a small child, and he kind of gets scared, and when he takes off, the mother goes after him. She's not listening to the rules, and they shoot her. Yep, we get to see the son going through the agony and the pain of watching his mother die. And then the hijackers just continue with their hijinks and the movie ends. Just kidding. So, obviously the movie doesn't end. That's where we find out what that rare blood disease is that Nadia has, and that is vampirism. She ends up sliding her way down in through like a little cubby hole into the storage area for the cargo of the plane, and she finds animals, which is how she ends up feeding to get her strength back. So if you're one of those people who can't watch a dog die, then you might want to fast forward that little section. They don't show it, but it's implied. You hear the thud and the yelp. It is what it is. If you hate dogs dying, this is not the movie for you, but if you don't care and can look past it like all the rest of us freaks out there, you're going to do just fine. But in this process, she winds up coming into contact with one of the terrorists on the plane, and she gets to kill him and feed. And one thing about this movie is if you die before a vampire bites you, you are dead. But if you are bit while you're alive, you then can become a vampire. We do get some backstory of how she became a vampire, because her husband got stuck on the side of the road. She ended up finding this house, and then she got attacked by this vampire, but she got safety, but then he ended up biting just like a sliver of her hand. And this is where we find out that that medicine she uses stops herself from becoming an aggressive vampire. So the trait of these vampires are they are very aggressive. And the more aggressive you are in real life, the more aggressive you become as a vampire. So she takes the medicine, so obviously she doesn't kill her kid. But she does get to kill other people. And in this movie, we see all sorts of action. I don't want to follow it step by step and tell you everything. I'm going to leave it there for that point. I'm just going to tell you that the acting in this movie from the mother is very, very good, and the child actor does a good job. He does have his whiny-ish moments, but they actually fit the movie and make sense to where it will not annoy you. Also, you get the bad guys in this movie that are all kind of got their own little thing about them, but there is one main bad guy. His name is 8 Ball, and he is without a doubt the biggest asshole you will ever meet in your life. And he does some real shady shit in this film, which is kind of what you would expect from this character. In the end, as it's moving along, more people become vampires, but when she bites somebody and they're turning, she does kill them so that they cannot fully transform into being a vampire because she does not want to spread this disease on further. We do find out that the only weaknesses that these vampires have are to sunlight, UV flashlights, and set their asses on fire. They will not make it out of there alive. There is some great action at the end of this movie where you get some intense moments. That's one thing I'll give the movie is horror-wise, I would not say this is a very scary film, but the intensity is ramped up the whole time. You get good action. There's good tension. There's moments where you're wondering what's going to happen. And then the special effects for this movie, when a vampire starts out as a human and then as it feeds more and more and more, it becomes more vampire. And this new look that it does for like a transformation going through the process is it becomes much, much more animalistic. And in the process, it also gains strength and it gains speed. So we do get some really cool kills in this movie. This is a plane full of passengers, so there's a lot of fun. And then when the plane touches down, you do have the army that thinks that the people on board are terrorists with a bunch of passengers on board that they're holding hostage. And that's where you get kind of a swerve and everything else. The ending for the movie, I think, is fitting and does very well. It's kind of best/worst case scenario. That's why I say this movie has heart, because as you follow it along for its 2-hour runtime, you do get to learn a lot about it. That's all I want to say about the movie. If you want to say anything else, leave more in the comments down below. I'm going to be doing more movies like this where if I find something that is a hidden gem, I'm going to let you know about it, because obviously we all want to find those movies that are so damn good, but nobody fucking tells you about them. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Rest in peace.